Hi, this is Allie from Allie Katz Crafts. I'm here to show you a card that I made and teach you how I made it. So that's what it looks like. That's the inside. And I always decorate my envelope so you can see the envelope. That's the back. Okay. The stamp set that I used was Sunrise Sailing, which is an amazing stamp set. And my friend Lori gifted it to me. And so thank you very much, Lori. I appreciate that. I'm very excited to do a bunch of cards with this. The other thing that I'll be using is, because I wanted to have the little sailboat on my card like this, and the Sunrise Sailing did not have a small sailboat, so I pulled out another stamp set that I had. You know, use what you have sometimes, and I do, because that's how you save money. So this is the stamp set. I'll kind of put back like that. It's a really cool stamp set. The inks that I'll be using is Secret Sea, Melon Mambo, Boho Blue, and Balmy Blue. The color that I used for the sail was Poppy Parade. However, this time I will be using the Melon Mambo because I wanted a pink boat this time. So first thing you're going to do, as you can see my little post-it up here, you're going to get a card base using the heavyweight cardstock, and you're going to have it 4.5 by 11 and score it in the middle. Then you'll have the Boho Blue, which is 4 2/16 by 5 7/8. And then you're going to cut your white, which originally is going to be this. It'll be 4 by 5 1/4. After you've done that, then you will take your hybrid folder, because it comes with the hybrid folder. The bundle does, comes with that. And you could take, and if you want to cut out your sailboat, you're going to put it in here like this. And it kind of fits in there perfect. Put your paper in, close it, and then run it through your Stampin' Cut machine, and it'll cut out the sailboat. I didn't do it that way. What I did was I took my paper, put it in here, and I lined up the boat really where I wanted it on the card, and then I ran it through. And this is what it came out with. Okay? After that, I took my die cut and I cut out the sailboat out of that. Okay? I used the Secret Sea ink to stamp it, and then I die cut it. So I will show you so that you can see how to do that. Okay? I get my stamp off and I lay it down, because that's the best way, just kind of lay it down and get it on there so it'll fit like that. Then I will grab some heavyweight cardstock, or whatever weight you want, but I use the heavy because I like how that works. And I'll get my Secret Sea, open it up, and I will ink it up really good. Hold it down for a second so the ink transfers onto the paper. Voila, I have my image. So when I cut it out, let me clean that off really quick. I don't like to leave the ink sitting on my stamps very long. So then I would cut it out, and I will show you. So I usually cut them up in little pieces, so you can see I've cut out a few. Okay, a few little sailboats. And then I will take, because when it gets cut out, you know, it'll be an image. Actually, I will show you one. I just remember I have one over here. So I've pre-cut these, right? So then what I'll do, see, the problem is that I kind of wanted to have it so you can see through the background. So if you look at my card, you can kind of see the background. So I took my X-Acto knife and I got a mat, like this. And then I took and I cut out that middle piece using my X-Acto. And you have to be very careful with that. You can use your scissors, but I don't like to use my scissors for doing stuff like this because it's hard to get in there just right. So I prefer to do it like this. But whatever works for you, that's what you do. So you're going to cut that out just like that. Okay? And when you're done with that, you're going to notice that it has like a little white edge right there. See the little white edge? So what I did was I took my Secret C marker. I like this end better. And I took and I colored that to make that, see where the cut line is there? To get rid of that white line. So that made it a little nicer. Okay? So now you have your boat ready. Now we have two of them actually. So the next thing I did was I pulled out my ink. I'll move this out of the way because I no longer need that. And like I said, I'm going to use the Melon Mambo. I took my stamp and I dipped up. And I've already done the scrunchies. Then I line it up so that the sails are on the black line. Hold it down and pick it up. And you got pink sails. So then I took the bottom of the boat, did the same thing. You have to really look right over the top of it to see where it goes. And stamp it. And see, you got a nice perfect stamp. Okay? So that's how you do the boat. Very fun, easy, not hard. So I'll close up my ink. So the next thing that you'll do is you'll set that aside and you'll stamp out the words ahoy. And I forgot to get my scissors out. And then you'll fussy cut it out. I know some of you don't like to fussy cut, but I actually enjoy it. Sometimes I'll sit in front of the TV and I'll cut out pieces of things that I've stamped out that I don't have a die for, or I want a certain way for it to look. So, and I thought this would look really cute just like this. So just kind of fussy cut. Leave a little bit of a white area because you want that to look really nice on your card. And notice how I move the paper around and not my hands. That makes a better cut, just so you know. So I'll pull that off and I'll just kind of, I don't like the sharp edges, so I'll take and kind of make sure it's nice and round, and that's ready. So I have two pieces ready now. The next step is I'm going to pull out this, and I'm going to put a piece of scrap paper because it's going to get messy, and I will now ink it. So I will start with the Balmy Blue, and because it's raised, so notice how it raises it up, it's because it's in a embossing folder. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my blue ink, or the Balmy Blue, and I'll lightly go over the water. So what I'm doing is I'm making the water now. Just very lightly, you don't have to do it real hard, okay? I'll also take that same Balmy Blue, and I'll kind of do a little bit in the background so it doesn't look so white, and throw it right in between there. And the reason I'm doing it there, because remember when I cut out that middle, you'll be able to see the sky. And it doesn't have to be totally perfect, because guess what? You're covering this up. Okay? And if you notice how the clouds have a little bit of color, so this one I felt like I needed to do a little bit more. So I kind of go over it, and all the raised stuff picks up the color. And you don't have to use that much ink, which is amazing. I mean, I love it. So just kind of move it around. You know, I don't like that I did that, but no card is perfect, okay? So kind of keep that in mind. So then I'm done with that one. I'll just set that one aside. I'll get out my next color because, you know, the water's not one color. It's two colors. So I'll get out my other blue brush. And I'll take, this one's a little bit lighter, so. And you notice how the color's slightly different. You probably don't notice it that much, but I'll show you when I'm done so you can see what I'm talking about. So never go directly on it. When I go on it, I'm putting it very, very lightly. Usually I'll go off. So here you go. Here's the water. See? And don't worry about that because that's going to be covered up. That's not a problem. So the next thing you will do is you need to get your sailboat that you just stamped. And you could either pop it up a little bit using the dimensionals, which I think I might do that. The last one I did not. So I'll get my dimensionals out. And they're really big. So I want to put some right at the top. So pull that off. Put one right at the very top of the sail so it looks really nice. And move this out of the way. Okay, and I'll put another piece right there. So I'll just pull. Usually I'll do this, and it works out really good. So I'll put one right there, and then do one right here. And I want to do another one. Long skin. Let's see about. I think that'll work. Okay. So I'll put one at this end. And one at that end. So we're good. So then I'll pull off the backs. I have a little trash can next to me. Sometimes it doesn't make it in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right over the top of where I just did that. Where that embossed one was. Gotta get it just right. And notice how the blue showed up in the background? So I'll take my brush and I'll go over the other spots again where I want it a little bit more darker. So you can see the sky. Okay. So the next step, you will take and glue down your color paper, which is the boho blue. That 3D hybrid embossing folder is great because it does a lot of the work for you, as you can see. And I think that's one of the best things that Stampin' Up! Has done. So you get this lined up. I like to pick it up. See? So you get all the edges just right. There's just a slight border, which I like. And then you'll take your last one. Now it is embossed, so you got to make sure that you put a little more glue around the edges. But don't go too close because it'll seep out the side. So you want to get it kind of close. And go all around, especially the ones that are kind of like raised, like right there. Because that's what's going to stick to your main card base, okay? So let's put this up higher so you can see it. You can do the same thing. It's going to be just like 1/8 of an inch. Just so you can barely see the color. And press it down real good. Okay. And then you're going to take your Ahoy. And you're going to glue that down flat. So it'll go. You know what? I kind of want to. See that little boo-boo I made right there? I actually got some ink right there. So I think what I'll do. This is how you can cover up your mess. Works really good. So I will take and put a dimensional on this side to raise up that side. Just like that. It's kind of big, so I'll just do that. Trim it off. And I will set it right over that little boo-boo. And no one will ever... Oops, I forgot to take out the backing. That's important. That one didn't stick very good. Let me get a different one. try it again. Cut a little piece off. So it's the same size as the other ones. It's very important you don't do a different size. That one was not very big. So pull the angel back. Put a little bit of glue on this side. And stick it over that little spot and put it right there. Even it out so it's neat and tidy. So there you go. Now, last thing. We're going to get our secret C out and put the birds on there. So we're going to put our birds on our card. So I have my birds on my stamping block. So I think one would be good right there. And we could throw one right there. I think I'm going to do 3 this time. I'll put one right there. Okay? That looks really good. So, once you've done that, now you have the inside to decorate. With my card, I decorated the inside. Okay? So I'm going to open up the card. I always like to decorate the inside. It makes it look really nice. So I have right here the waves that I took and the boho blue. And I will ink it up. And we have to be very careful. That's how I get ink everywhere. I wiped off that ink right there. Okay, so then we're going to take that and put it about right there. And then go right above it with the second stamp. Oh, I didn't put that in the screen. Sorry about that. So what I did was I did the first generation, then I did the second generation stamp there. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my little sailboat that I have pre-stuck on there and grab my lighter ink, which is the balmy blue, and put a little sailboat right there. There. So the inside of the card is done. Okay. Set that aside. So now I'm going to decorate my envelope. You know, you have to decorate your envelope. Well, you don't really have to, but it's nice. So I'm going to grab my water again. Where did I put that water? Oh, I put it over here. And I'm going to put the boho blue on it, the first, because that's the water. So I'm going to put that right in the middle and then go up a tiny bit. I did it again, didn't I? Sorry about that, ladies. I gotta move that up higher. Okay, then I'm gonna clean off my stamp so it doesn't get everywhere. And I'm gonna grab that sailboat again. Put them right here on your, that's the flap. Okay, now let's decorate the bottom part. I love decorating the envelope. So you're gonna put your ink on there. And I'm going to grab it again. I need to get that paper over here so I don't get my mat dirty. And put that there. And then stamp off and on. Okay? Set those aside. I'll close those in a minute. And then grab my sailboat. And put a sailboat on here. Okay. So your envelope's decorated, front and back, and your pretty pink boat, mambo, and then that. So that's the card. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you'd be interested in purchasing some stuff from me, I'll have something in the bottom of the description, but I'm not very good at that. I'm just kind of getting back into doing videos. But if you go look up Allison Clark in Nocona, Texas, you can find me. I'd love to help you out with anything that you need. Thank you for watching my video, and have a great evening. Bye.